Folks, welcome back. You might be escaping on that lunch break, or maybe you're already in Cleveland rooting on these Bulls, but it is time for the Bullet Points pregame show, Cleveland edition for the men. Rob, the women took care of business yesterday, and it's time for the men to follow suit on this Cleveland Thursday.
I mean, women dominated yesterday. Their defense was just led them to offense. Their offense didn't look great at times, but if they were playing that type of defense, there was no way for them to lose yesterday. And now we need the men's maybe on the opposite. They need their offense to show up because their defense is not too great. And I'm just hoping it's not as close as the game we just finished up in Cleveland because I can't take that stress.
Yes, well, a disappointing finale or finish in Cleveland as Toledo was able to get it done against Central Michigan. Central Michigan took the lead with 15 seconds to go. All a Bulls fan could have asked for were against those top-seeded Toledo Rockets, but Toledo gets it done in that crunch time. They get a bucket, they get a stop, and then they get another stop to ultimately win the game. Toledo obviously finishing first in the MAC this year. Rob, that was kind of expected for this men's team going in, to be honest.
Yeah, well, all roads before this season started was that this team should be clear favorites of the regular season championship and clear favorites to win this title this week. That did not happen. This is a very bad. This was a very bad season in terms of expectations. Only to finish with 19 wins to finish fifth in the MAC. If especially if they don't make it far in this tournament, all eyes should be looking at all net to do something about this coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Bulls fans got a taste of that success 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. And yeah, they just want, what they've had. They did have in this slate of games, obviously, 2 losses to Toledo in MAC play, Rob. But besides that, a pretty solid MAC slate from Jan 1 on. They basically went, 15-4 overall after the new year. Again, 2 of those losses coming to top-seeded Toledo. So it's hard to be very upset with the conference slate, I would say. Obviously, there were some lackluster things taking place previous to that. The loss to Bonaventure, obviously the loss to Canisius among them. But with that said, recapping the season, I mean, 19-10, obviously, 13-6 in the MAC, good enough for 5th in the conference. With that said, where are you at on this team going into Cleveland, I guess is the question.
I'm very worried because you said, yes, they did have a great 2022 half of this season, but they were 1-5 against the only other 4 good teams in this conference. After us, there's just no one from 6 to 12 in this conference. There was just a huge difference increase between Toledo, Kent, Akron, us, and Ohio. And that's what's scaring about going in this tournament, only being 1-5 against those teams. Just because now, us being the 5 seed, we have to go through 3 of those 4 teams to win this tournament, and it's going to be hard. They could do it. All you need is to play your 3 best games of the season this week, and we had the players to do it. It's just if they will step up and do it.
And of course, we were talking about the awards yesterday. You saw a fired up UB women's hoops take advantage of that, grit, that kind of inspiration that the MAC gave them. Similar on the men's side, 3 earned awards, and they're led by first-team All-MAC player Geenan. So obviously, he's going to have a big role in whether this team has success in Cleveland. Did you think the men got shorted on any awards, or maybe came up just short in a couple areas? Or what are your thoughts on these end-of-year awards for the men's team?
No, I think this one was fair. Jonathan did have a great season. I bet you he did finish top 4 in that Player of the Year voting. But Sincere Carey, Ryan Rollins were just they had the similar stats, but they were just on that better team in the standings, so they obviously got favored more. First team is definitely where he should have been. Second team for Rondo and Josh, that's fair. Defensive team for Josh, that's definitely fair after him winning Defensive Player of the Year. And we're going to need those 3 guys to step it up big these next 3 games if we have any chance of running through this MAC and on to the 20 next week.
Yeah, and sorry, I was just checking some data. So obviously you have Ronaldo Segu. He gets the second team All-MAC, leading the league or leading the conference in assists, and then obviously Mbala rounding out the 3 on the All-MAC defensive team. I am just reading. I apologize. I was a little behind on this one. I'm going to share my screen here. It looks like the Bulls will be playing with heavy hearts today for Coach Carl's. Did you see this at all?
Yes, I did see this.
Okay. So, and let me get the graphic out of here before it ruins everything. Yeah, so it looks like they will be playing for Gerard Quarles today. They got the button on there, and yeah, should be interesting to see. Obviously, they'll be playing with heavy hearts, and obviously extra fired up to get it done for Coach JQ today. With that said, let's get into it. We got the Bulls -3, the over under 141.5. Just want to lead off with this, Rob. Either of these numbers surprise you?
No, not really. I mean, the Bulls are the fifth seed. They are technically the lower seed in this game, but I think how these teams match up, I think the Bulls are the better team in this matchup. We saw a couple weeks ago when we did play them, or a couple months ago, we were without Josh, we were without Trayvon. We had Ty Perry playing the most minutes he's played all year. We had Maceo playing at the 5. It was just a mess, and I think these numbers definitely show it. That over under, that's about 71 points each. That's kind of fair just because UB is a high scoring team and their defense isn't one of the best. So I could see that overhitting and that covering that spread. Possibly, I think it's gonna be a close one. Possibly, we'll see if they cover it or not.
Both these teams are super streaky. I mean, just to call a spade, Akron has had 3 separate 3-game winning streaks or greater in MAC play. They've won 5 games in a row. They've won 3 games in a row. They've won 4 games in a row. They also did have a 3-game skid playing Kent State, Western Michigan, and Northern Illinois. So not exactly the strongest opponents for that losing streak. So it'd be very interesting to see. They come in off a 1-point win against Central Michigan last week. And again, we just saw that Central Michigan team was very hungry in a potential upset bid against Toledo. So it'll be very interesting to see what they're able to do. With that said, are we scared of Akron?
No, I think if we can play our type of basketball, I think this game should be coming out as a win for the Bulls. Unless they decide what they've been doing sometime this year, going on, like you said, those runs with those 8-minute scoring droughts, not playing defense. Those are when the games get out of hand. And as long as they can face it and they go on their own runs, because as Coach Jack says, this basketball is a game of runs. You just have to have more. And I think if the Bulls have more, they should be coming out of this one. The only couple of players that scare me out of Akron is Enrique Freeman, who just won Defensive Player of the Year, and Ali, who went to the line 22 times against us in our first matchup. But like I said, that was with Maceo at the 5 spot. And that was the most he's had all year. He's only went to the line about 61. I think he's only made 61 free throws all year, and he made 15 or 16 against us alone. So as long as you cut those short, I think UB should coming out with the win in this one.
Okay. Well, hey, we've heard your keys to the game. We heard that we have really no reason to be worried about these Akron Zips. With that said, speaking of more numbers, give me your thoughts on this. Segu, obviously, with some Cleveland experience, played there in 2019, played there in 2021. Over under 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
I'm gonna go under, but not by much. I think he's gonna get to that 20 mark. I think he'll at least have 15 points, 5 assists, rebounds, maybe 1 or 2. But I think it's gonna be slightly under. But I think he's gonna have a great game because these two, especially Janathan and Rondo, they will not accept a quarterfinals loss in their final season, possibly in their final season. We don't know if they'll use their COVID year or not, but as of right now, their final season, and I don't think they're going to allow for us to lose in the quarterfinals.
I agree.
Especially in their sophomore year, losing in the campus game round.
It is a fact. You can't spell Dub without UB, and you can't spell Jonathan Williams without Will, and he is going to will the Bulls to the second round. I want to talk real quick, though, Rob, because I got to say something. The men cannot survive a slow start like the women had yesterday. I know that, they eventually got the momentum going, and they were, to call it a slow start, they were only, down 10-4? I mean, again, it wasn't the end of the world.
5-0, I think.
But yeah, I don't think you can survive if you're the UB men's team scoring 4 points in the first 7 minutes here. You got to come out strong, and you got to come out looking to dominate that game. So with that said, looking to dominate, get it going. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up.
So, I think it's gonna stay close, possibly maybe in the middle part of the game where UB likes to go on their run and then they go on their little 5-6 minute drought in the middle of the second half. I'm gonna go with a UB victory, 82-70. No, 82-74.
82-74, so that over is crushing, and the UB is crushing the spread. I'm gonna fade both your picks. I am gonna go UB 68, Akron 66. Akron gets the cover. They get the cover, maybe a BS bucket at the end. Maybe UB hit free throws to go from a 1-2 and they missed the other one, and some kind of weirdness. 68-66. UB moves on from this Thursday matchup here in Cleveland, and both teams go on for a big Friday in Cleveland, Rob.
Of course.
Folks, we are just about 20 minutes till tip-off. Make sure you're keeping it tuned to @BulletPoints716, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where we are keeping all the Bulls action for you, because you can't spell dub without UB, and when it's Cleveland week, it's all about 3 words. Let's go Bulls!